What's happening, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Don't forget you can watch and listen to our episodes over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just type in Geek Out Room podcast and you should find us. Today we're doing a non-spoiler review on Batman the Caped Crusader Season 2. Let's get right into it, man. This is a show. If you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend you stop what you're doing and tune into Season 1 so you can watch Season 2, because this show, and this is going to be a hot take, is the best animated Batman show we've gotten since Batman the Animated Series, and I'm willing to stamp on that. This show feels so familiar, like the Batman the Animated Series, while also feeling something fresh and different, right? It's not something you're going to get from the recent movies of the last like 10 years animated wise for Batman. It's not something, not like a complete retelling of the same beats from Batman the Animated Series. But it feels familiar because it feels like the Dark Knight is in his element. All right, the artwork, again, for those who have not seen the series at all, the artwork is inspired from like the 1920s, 30s aesthetic, and it feels fresh. It feels interesting. You have like Al Capone inspired villains, and you have like mobsters. Like everyone's pretty much a mobster in this. I mean, season two big villains from his rogue gallery make their debut, which is the Riddler and the Joker in this season. And man, the way they introduce the Riddler and then the Joker in this season is phenomenal. It's fun. I've never thought of the Riddler as like a mobster. Like, I know there's so many iterations of him, but the way they introduce him as a mobster in this series and the way they weaponize the way they have the Riddler weaponize his intelligence and his the enigma side of him is so interesting. I really love how they do that in this season. And I like that he's not just a one-off like villain. I like how they have like an actual villain arc for this character that does take Bruce slash Batman to different places. And there's an episode in this season that takes place in Blackwater, and it's the most interesting episode. It's like my third favorite episode this season. I don't take that as a bad way. I mean, there's really great episodes this season, but that is like my second favorite episode. Probably like I'm battling between third and second episode all time in this series so far. That's how good this episode in Blackwater is. And again, no spoilers, but the episode it takes Bruce to a different place emotionally by the end of the episode. And it's an episode where you can start seeing Bruce change because if I'm not mistaken, in this series, at least so far, season 2, he is still newly Batman. I don't know if it's year 1 or 2, but he's just got out of the phase of Batman's a myth. Now people have seen Batman, people have interacted with Batman. Batman's no longer just a myth, a legend. Because season 1, he was more of a myth. Like, who is this? What is a Batman? There's no way there's a grown man running around in a Batman out or a bat outfit doing this stuff. Season 2, he's established. They know the gangsters, the underworld. They know of Gotham. They know he's a threat. And so now he interacts way more with the police. He interacts way more with the citizens. And Bruce Wayne persona is still not there, right? So he's still like Batman all the time. Gotta be Batman. Batman's the key to stopping the scum in the city, right? But this episode in Blackwater, it might kind of change that, or you start seeing a certain side of Bruce you haven't seen in episodes prior. And that's what makes this so good, because he's battling with himself internally through a lot of this season, and it's super interesting. It's more subtle than they do in like other iterations where he's like he has a like a straight up battle. Is more subtle. You can see it as episodes progress this season where he's like, man, like no matter what I do, the city's still being the city, but at the same time, I have to be Batman because the city needs me. And by the end of the season, Bruce slash Batman comes to a place that I think a lot of fans are going to enjoy and love, and sets up for a very interesting and slightly, I mean, slightly totally different season 3. Well, I mean, slightly, they're going to still keep the core of what makes the show work, but I think season 2 sets up for a very great season 3 where we see Batman. I feel like Batman's going to be in a very different place. And I think the Bruce Wayne persona is going to be in a very, or Bruce Wayne is going to be in a very different place. and we're going to see even more of an eternal struggle between Bruce Wayne and Batman as um, his egos clash there. Joker gets introduced this season, and it's phenomenal. This is probably my favorite way of introducing a character like the Joker. All right. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, so I'm gonna have to be very vague with this. But seeing Joker as like a 1920s mobster is very interesting. It's a very different way to approach this character. It doesn't feel like they're just taking what made Heath Ledger's Joker amazing, or Jack Nicholson's Joker amazing. It just feels like its own thing. And of course, when the Joker's introduced, there's going to be the psychological battle with Batman, and the way they deliver it this season and the way it leaves Batman by the end of the season is very interesting, and I cannot wait. And I mean, I cannot wait for season 3, because again, I think the Joker, as he always does, puts Batman and tests Batman to his limit, and puts Batman into a very, very interesting place mentally and psychologically. And that's what we love about Batman. That's one of the many things we love about Batman, is the mental and psychological aspects of the character, and his interactions slash his battles with his villains that are not always like physical. A lot of it's mental. And throughout this season, you do get to see the mental aspect inside of Batman, and you get to see how Batman himself, like the persona of Batman, is starting to give hope to Gotham, right? Not by much, but like you start to see the cracks of people starting to not fear these villains as much, because they're like, hey, we have a Batman. Gordon's still here. I feel they did a good job with Gordon, man. I feel like there's an episode this season, or a couple episodes this season, where you see Commissioner Gordon in a place where he's still trying to clean up the Gotham City Police Department, and he's starting to trust Batman a little more. And you're starting to see their dynamic build a little better. And you know, Gordon's like, hey man, with the two of us, we're gonna be unstoppable. Like, I still need the GCPD to be cleaned up, and I'm working on that as a full-time job within itself. But right now, with you being out there and you doing things that are willing to go places that we can't go or can't get to, we can have a great relationship. But you know, it has to form, because it's Batman's early Batman, so it has to form. But we're starting to see that relationship form, and I think by season 3, we're going to see a completely different dynamic between the two of them. And I'm very curious and interested to see where that dynamic continues to grow and go. Um, Again, want to be really vague about the Joker stuff. I really love Joker. I really loved the arc with Joker. Really loved it. Really loved the arc with um Enigma slash the Riddler. I loved this season. I thought the animation was still solid. I thought that there's an episode with a kid. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but there's an episode with a kid that teases a very major Batman character outside the Joker. I'm not going to say which character, because that is a spoiler, but it teases a character, and I'm very curious on how they're going to introduce that character, because that character in this version of Gotham, of this version of Batman, is going to be where you kind of gangsterize every single character. It's going to be very interesting to see how they interpret this character for this universe. But they've done such a good job with the Riddler, Joker, Harvey Dent, and so many other characters, that I am super pumped and excited for this character. Okay, I think they're coming in season 3, and it's going to be Batman's greatest test. I'm telling you right now, if they introduce this character season 3, it'll be Batman's greatest test, and I cannot wait. Um, but yeah, if I was a kid, I thought the episodes could be kind of boring, or like not a filler episode, couldn't like a 9 or 10 episode series or season. You shouldn't have filler episodes. But started out, felt like feeling like a filler series, started to really grow on me, and it showed again. It was such a great episode, not only teasing a major villain, but also showing how Batman affects the youth, like how the now that he's not really, now that people know he exists, that know Batman's a thing, and that Batman's patrolling Gotham at night and keeping it safe, is a great episode to show how people interpret Batman, how people view Batman, like the citizens view Batman. That's something that I feel like as much as I love the anime series, even again, there's so many episodes. It's been such a long time since I watched. I need to rewatch it. Honestly, there's something I feel like different medias of Batman stopped doing. They stopped showing how the citizens of Gotham view Batman and how they react to Batman being a thing after the whole myth thing goes away. And I think this episode does a really great job of showing who Batman is. Now, this season was amazing. I still think season one, I really like how season one introduced Harley Quinn. I thought it was a very interesting, it's not like the most original way to introduce Harley Quinn, but I did like the episode. I think we missed a couple episodes like that where it's like I feel like we abandoned Bruce Wayne a little too much in this season, but I think that's also the point because it's this season is so chaotic. There's a lot of death. Let me tell you something about this season two. This season two has a lot of death. There's a lot of death and destruction like you've never seen before in Gotham City in terms of cartoons. Like this cartoon goes there. When you think of like 90s, early 2000s, they have to do the whole impact scene, like not to show punches, so like it flashes white with punches, stuff like that. This thing's not scared of that. You can feel every bruise, you can feel every cut, you can feel every gunshot. Again, there's a lot of Tommy guns because this is like an inspired Al Capone gangster era type of show. There's a lot of gunshots. There's a lot of blood in this series. Not like gory or anything like disturbing, but like there's a lot of bullet holes. A lot of people get lit up. A lot of people form regret. A lot of people go madder or more insane because of the violence in Gotham. It is such an interesting series. And once you start, you're not going to want to stop until you reach the last episode of season two. And again, if you haven't seen this series, please please lock in. It is on Prime Video, and it is one of my favorite interpretations of Batman to date. And this is one of those shows. There's very few of them that I feel this way. But like, there's one of those animated shows where I'm like, dude, I may not be a professional voice actor, but I'm begging Prime Video. I'm begging Prime Video. If you ever watch this, get me as a minor. I don't care if I'm just like a character that gets shot up in the first 20 seconds of season three. Get me on this show, man. I just want to be a part of this thing. This show is so fun. It's so fun, and it's dark, but it's not too dark. It's not too brooding. Batman's so brooding. So if you hate like super broody Batman, you may not like this interpretation of Batman, at least up to season two. But he's very broody. He's very criminals are all the same. I don't feel bad for them. Like if you played Batman Arkham Origins, that's the kind of Batman you're getting. You're getting the kind of Batman that's like, hey, I'm still freshly like I'm have issues. I have issues. In season one, they kind of try to help him work through those issues, but he's just not having it. He's like, nah, I'm Batman. I have to be Batman because I have to protect myself. This bat symbol, and what I feel like season two does well, is this bat symbol is not just for the citizens of Gotham. It's for me. Like I need this bat symbol because I feel like it protects me from the bullies and the criminals out there. He's still like a little boy that's hurt, and you can still tell even in season two. And by the end of season two, you can really tell that part of him gets tested. And by the end of season two, I'm telling you, the Batman that comes out of this battle, all these battles in season two, because season two tests him, man. He has to. And it was great about this Batman too. Something I forgot about that really is what hammers this home for me. He makes mistakes. Criminals escape. Again, this is an early Batman. He's still young, so like he makes a lot of mistakes, and his mistakes have consequences. When he doesn't lock in or when he hesitates for a moment out there, people get shot and killed or stabbed or go missing, and then like like he has to go deal with the ramifications of these mistakes. And that's what's great is that he's not perfect. He's not, oh, I have prep time, and I'm undefeated Batman. He's like, I'm early Batman who doesn't really hold back. Like I'll break, but he breaks hella bones in this series. I break bones, but he's like, oh, I can get shot. Like Batman gets wounded, but he keeps going. Like it's such an interesting way. But what I love about this series the most, especially season two, he makes mistakes some people escape his grasp. Like he needs to get saved. Sometimes like he is vulnerable a lot through this season. And it's really cool to see how he accepts the help or slash how he deals with his failures. And there's a moment with him and Alfred in this season that's really good. Now it doesn't top the scene from Arkham Origins, if you know, you know, the video game. But but it does, they do have a moment, and I wish it went there because I really do think there needs to be a conversation. Because I'm not gonna lie, the one thing that pisses me off about this show is how Bruce treats Alfred. He treats Alfred like, not like shit, but he treats him really bad, dude. I've never seen Batman treat Alfred like this. Now, the only time I've seen Batman treat Alfred like this is when he's way younger, like he's just becoming Batman. He's dealing with all this stuff. He's still just like a hurt kid that wants to hurt the bullies and stuff and the criminals in Gotham, which is on par. Is on par. They playing it very perfectly, dude. Bruce slash Batman is heavily flawed in this series. He's younger. He makes mistakes, but he's still Batman. And if that doesn't sell you on this series, I don't know what else to do. But man, tune in, lock into this series if you haven't already. I'm giving season 2 at 8.5 out of 10. It might even be a 9 out of 10 for me. Season 2, I was locked in, super excited. I don't know, it's not getting any type of press, it's not getting any type of push. So I'm going to be the champion for this series. If you have not went on Prime Video and watched Batman the Cape Crusader, go watch it now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. See y'all in the next one. Keep geeking out. Peace.